Hi Sam, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm great. So I have a question about our Turkish students. My first question is like, what do you recommend when they come here to Boston to study English? What do you recommend for our Turkish students?
Okay, so I will give one recommendation that I recommend for all students, and that is to make friends with people from other countries.
Yeah.
Don't just stay with people from your country. Make friends with your Korean classmates, your Spanish-speaking classmates, your Arabic-speaking classmates, because that will force you to have to speak in English.
Yes.
That's number one. Number two, specifically for Turks in the classroom, if you don't mind me saying this.
Yeah, that's all.
I don't know why, but all of the Turkish students I have finish things very quickly. There's
Nice.
often the first people in the room to finish, but they don't always have the highest rate of accuracy. So I would suggest specifically to the average Turkish student, not all, but average, if you finish early and you look around and you're the only person done, check your answers and
Again,
double
yeah.
check to
Yeah.
see if you need to work on accuracy.
That's something we do all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is true. Sem'e sorduk arkadaşlar Türk öğrenciler için ne öneriyorsunuz diye. İlk dediği birinci kural başka ülkelerden arkadaşlar edinin. Meksika'dan işte diğer ülkelerden gelen arkadaşlar edinin dedi. İkinci kural da Türk öğrenciler sınavları, testleri çok erken bitiriyorlarmış. Sınavdan genelde düşük alıyormuş Türk öğrenciler. Erken bitirmelerine rağmen bu yüzden sınav kağıtlarını kontrol etsinler, yanlışlarını düzeltmeye çalışsınlar diye bir tavsiye verdi. Neden bu kadar acele ettiğimizi de anlayamamış gerçekten. So this was my first question and second one.
Yeah.
Can you explain your teaching methodology, like Kaplan's teaching methodology?
Sure. So
Yeah.
Kaplan mainly uses the communicative approach, which means that whenever possible, we like our activities to be interactive. And that means that you will very often get a little bit of teacher talking time and then a lot of practice time for whatever activity that we're doing. And very often that will be with a partner or a group. And the goal is to practice as much as you can, develop your ideas, and ask questions whenever you have a question.
Yeah, also inside of the class and outside of the class.
Yes,
Same.
yes.
You are trying to make them talk all the time.
Yes, no, or write, or listen, or whatever
Yeah.
we're doing. That's
Yeah,
the other
okay.
part that's very important. This is our 3-hour classes are integrated skills classes, which means when you're doing reading, you're not just reading. You're going to read and then talk about it, or read and then write. Or if you're doing listening, you're not going to just listen and answer questions. You're going to talk about what you've listened to. So that's important. So
Great.
communicative and integrated would be the two keywords that I would say for our approach.
İkinci sorumuzda Sem'e Kaplan'ın teaching metodolojisini bize açıklamasıydı. Sadece söylediği ana özetle 2 tane şey var. İnteraktif ve iletişim kanalları açık dersleri işliyoruz. Speaking yapıyorsak speaking üzerinde, reading yapıyorsak reading üzerinde, listening yapıyorsak listening üzerine çalışıyoruz ama bunlarla kalmıyoruz. Listening yapan öğrenci aynı zamanda dinlediğini yazıyor ve yazdığı üzerine tartıştırılıyor. Writing yapan öğrenci daha sonra ne yazdığıyla ilgili öğrencilerle tartışıyor, speaking yapıyor. Yaptığı şeyi daha sonra başkasını dinlerken de listening yapıyor aynı şekilde. Yani böyle iç içe geçen bir sistemleri varmış ve öğrencilerin mümkün olduğu kadar pratik yaptırmaya çalışıyorlarmış. Bunu sadece konuşmak olarak algılamayın arkadaşlar. Speaking'i, writing'i, listening'i hepsi bütün metotlar dahil şekilde yapıyorlarmış. Last question, Sam. Why Boston? Why students choose Boston?
Boston is a city known for its education, and we are not known for some other things that might distract students. So yes, it's true. You can listen to live music in Boston. You can go to some great museums. You can eat at some nice restaurants. But honestly, we don't have the shopping that New York has. We don't have the nightclubs that Miami has. If you want to focus on your studies, this is a better place to be because you'll be surrounded by other people focusing on their studies. And that makes it a lot easier. I know a lot of students who've done the wonderful act of going to Miami. Miami's lovely for a vacation, but it's kind of hard to study English in Miami. It's very easy to party. So you can still find fun things to do. But this is a quieter, more serious place overall.
So this is the reason.
I think so, from my opinion. But ask that same question to maybe 5 other teachers.
Yeah.
Some people will say sports. We're great for sports. That's not me, but other people might say that.
We asked Lillian,
Yeah.
and she said something else, like the sports.
Okay,
And
great.
I also say it is cheaper to live here than New York and Miami or Los Angeles.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
Really?
Yeah, no, we're about the same. We're cheaper than New York, but most places are cheaper than New York, so that's not hard to do.
Typical class. What do you do in the class?
Okay, so in general, almost every class will start with a warmer. The goal of the warmer is just like when you warm up when you exercise. So something a little easier, a little maybe silly or fun, either a speaking activity or something where they have to walk around the room. For example, today you might notice there are some papers all around the walls.
Yes.
Those are all some murder mystery riddles. Why? Because our review reading was about Sherlock Holmes. So they had to get up with a partner and try to solve some short little mystery riddles as their warmer. Then we will usually do something that's a little bit more serious, either a reading or a listening or maybe a grammar point, and then some practice. And then second part of class, that kind of repeats. There's usually a lead-in, maybe not so serious, gonna practice again, and then something where they produce. So a project where either they're writing something or speaking or presenting would be a typical day. Of course, not every class follows that pattern, but in general, that's the case. And we usually have quizzes on Mondays. So that, depending on what we've done in the previous week, will determine how extensive the quiz is or not.
Pazartesi günleri quiz yapıyorlarmış arkadaşlar. Her pazartesi günü quiz'e geçiyormuş genel itibariyle. Bu quiz'de zaten o haftanın neler yapıldığı söyleniyormuş. Tipik bir klasta da ilk aşamada bir ısınma yapılıyormuş. Önce ufak yavaş şeylerle başlanıyormuş. Bunlar biraz ısındıktan sonra biraz öğrenciler derse katılmaya başladıktan sonra speaking, writing, grammar olarak herhangi bir konu üzerine fokus oldukları bir ders işliyorlarmış ve bu derste de bir şeyler üretiyorlarmış. Yani bir presentation yapıyorlarmış, bir yazı yazıyorlarmış, bir işte chapter'ı okuyup bitiriyorlarmış vesaire ve bunu işte tartışıyorlarmış. Bu gibi şeyleri sınıfta söylüyorlarmış. Tipik bir Kaplan'ın ders işleme şeyi bu şekilde ama bütün sınıflarda tabii ki de bu olmayabilir. Hocadan hocaya göre de değişebilir diye öğretmenim Sam ekledi. Thank you so much Sam. It was really great. Your energy is really great. You are really smiling face. Like we really thank you so much. We appreciate it. I hope this video will be really great and we will get like many views on YouTube.
Me too. Me
and
too.
To send you more Turkish students hopefully.
Memnun oldum. Teşekkürler. Abone olun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much.